Hey, good afternoon. Jerry Upchurch here from Atlanta, Georgia. Just wanted to get another video out to you. Continually, I'm reading, continuously, I am continually reading this book, You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And here he says, making your mind matter, making your mind matter. So he actually gets into some quantum physics in here that's pretty interesting about matter and the mind. So, but we're not going to get into that right now. But what I did want to talk about is what I read today. And it seems that I can just read one paragraph and I can get a huge blog out of that one paragraph. But what I want to talk about today is what he calls conditioned response. Conditioned response. So, what exactly is a conditioned response? We know that. We know what that is. A conditioned response is when an event occurs and we react because in a natural way or consistent way because of that event that occurred. And we actually, how do we get that? We get it by continuously reacting the same way over and over and over, producing habits. You know, and it's been said that 21 days produces a habit. But Dr. Joe says that's not true. It's not a fixed number of days. It takes some people 1 day to create a habit. It takes other people a year to create a habit. But continuously responding in a certain way when some event occurs causes our body to get conditioned to respond in a certain way when that event occurs. And he says typically by the time we're 25 or 30 years old, our bodies have been programmed over and over and over to respond to different ways because of different events. So that being said, the response that we have based on the conditioned response typically will produce a chemical in our body that's either good if that conditioned response is positive, or it's hurtful if that conditioned response is negative. So too much stress or cortisol being produced in our bodies because of stress will continuously cause a stressful situation in our body and cause us more susceptible to disease. A continuously positive response will produce positive chemicals in our body that will cause us to heal instead of hurt. So with all that being said, I'll tell you a story that happened to me one time. As when I had a job, and I had a 9-to-5 job, I would leave the house early enough to get to work by 8 o'clock. And I had about a 25-30 minute ride to work. But every morning I would cross this bridge and I would get into the right lane so I could turn right onto Interstate 10 to get to Mobile to get to work in the mornings so I wouldn't be late. So every morning as I was in that right lane, there would be people coming in from that left lane braking in front of me. And of course every morning I would get flustered and frustrated because of the people breaking in line in front of me. I know you've been there too. That's happened to you. And that's one of my pet peeves, or has been for a long time. But after a service one Sunday, I determined at church, I had heard a good message about being helpful and changing some of our attitudes in life. And I decided that instead of being stressed out and not wanting people to break in line in front of me, I would drive and then I would back off so people could automatically get in front of me easy without causing me to have to hit my brakes real hard or anything like that to let them in. Because they had broken in front of me, I decided to just let them get in front of me. And needless to say, over time that became a habit, and I gradually was enjoying the experience of letting people get in front of me. And two things occurred. Number one is the stress level in my body was reduced tremendously. For the next 20 minutes to ride to work, I was much more peaceful than I was before. And two is when I got to work, I realized that I was more pleasant to be around, and I didn't go into work complaining about all the frustration and the traffic that I'd been in to get to work that day. So I had changed my conditioned response from a negative response within my body to a positive response within my body. So with all this being said, two things I want you to think about is what kind of responses are you causing to occur automatically, your automatically conditioned responses from your body because of the ways you're thinking. We can change our neural connections in there by strengthening the good positive connection, by allowing things to happen and being positive, or we can strengthen the negative connections in our brain that cause negative chemicals to be produced by harping and continuously focusing on the negative things that have happened in our life. So with all that being said, I want you to read our blogs. We have several blogs that have been published, and a lot of them are on health and energy and vitality. A lot of them are on business related functions. But read our blogs, click on the link below, you'll see the blog link, and read it, give some feedback on what you see and hear, and tell me some stories about what's happened in your life because of your conditioned responses. All that being said, hey, have a great day. Thanks.